Hello everyone, my name is HKH191. In today's video, I will be going over the most common errors and issues you might get while trying to mod Grand Theft Auto 5. I'll be covering areas that might cause a script to not run correctly, issues caused by mod folders, some strange and uncommon issues, and going into a little bit about the most common errors you would get from ScriptHookV and trainers. I would also like to give a special thanks to all my staff members in my Discord server, Drada Matara, Kochiro, Sakith Ram, Yusuf the Gamer 1, and another Greek dude, and Jarek. The most common mistake I see when looking at people's files is ScriptHookVDotNet installed incorrectly. As you can see by the left-hand image, the user only has 4 files named ScriptHookVDotNet. This is the primary reason why mods written in the ScriptHookVDotNet API do not work. The right-hand image shows the correct installation of ScriptHookVDotNet, where the user has 7 files named ScriptHookVDotNet, 3 files for the original ScriptHookVDotNet, 2 for both ScriptHookVDotNet 2 and ScriptHookVDotNet 3 APIs. The name of your scripts folder shouldn't make a major difference for most mods, but I generally find having a lowercase s for scripts is the best approach to avoid any errors the script might return. Following on from the last issue, after you have successfully installed ScriptHookVDotNet, the next thing you will need to do is change reload key, as when you download ScriptHookVDotNet, it will be set to no key or none. To do this, open ScriptHookVDotNet.ini. You will see that reload key equals none. You can then change it to insert. You can use another key as your reload key, but I find insert works best. You can also notice that console key will be set to F4. I would recommend changing this to F12, as quite a few trainers use F4 as their open key. Once you get in game, pressing reload key will force all scripts to reload, effectively restarting them in case they crashed. Pressing console key will also bring up this UI, which I'll talk about later. If you have been modding Grand Theft Auto 5 for at least a year, you'd recognize this error instantly. All this error means is the current version of ScriptHookV does not support the current game version. In this case, the two simplest fixes are to downgrade a game, or to wait until ScriptHookV updates, which usually takes a couple of days to 2 weeks, depending on how busy Alexander Blade is. In the case of when this video gets uploaded, the game is going to update in the next few days to the Los Santos Drug Wars update. You will more than likely find this error if you try to launch the game after it updates. You've likely seen this error as well. The two main causes of this error is the user downloading an illegal copy of the game off the internet and trying to run a mod that requires an updated version of the game, which they do not have. For example, trying to run Arena War Business, which requires the Arena War update when the user's game is only on the Smuggler's Run update. It can, however, also occur for users who have bought the game and decide to downgrade the game to a previous version. For people who have got a pirated game, i.e. downloaded an illegal copy of the internet, there is nothing you can do except for buying the game. For people who have already bought the game and are getting this error, the way to fix it is to update your game. You might have seen this error when installing too many mods. The simplest way to fix this error is to install a better game configuration file from what you've already got. You can also install pack file limit adjuster and heap limit adjuster to fix this. Again, with this error, you get this error when trying to use too many DLC packs or downloaded mods that use a mods folder. The simplest fix is to install custom game config.xml and to install heap adjuster. Failing this, you could look at merging multiple DLC.rpf files together as well. This error only occurs with add-on vehicles. when they have a too high poly limit. The simplest fix to fix this issue is to reduce the poly count of the vehicle in Z model of 3, but this usually has to be done by the author of the mod vehicle. If you're experiencing this error, it's highly recommended to remove your mods in mods folder one by one to see which one is causing the issue, and then contacting the developer of that mod. This error occurs when trying to use too many DLC packs or downloaded mods that use a mods folder. The simplest fix is to install a custom game config and to install heat limit adjuster. This can also occur when there is a corrupt file in GTAV's root directory. To fix this, you can verify your game files or reinstall any mods you have. This error occurs when the game's memory cannot allocate enough storage to store a single or multiple in-game objects. This error is most commonly caused by script mods trying to spawn too many entities. This can also occur when a script does not have an on-shutdown sequence. Without this sequence, there is no way to remove a mod's use assets, i.e. vehicles, blips, heads, objects, or any entity that the mod spawns, when either the mod crashes or when the user presses insert. As you can see by the images, the game is frozen, stuck with a message in the right hand corner of the screen saying loading online, with a busy spinner next to it. Now, while this is actually not the game loading online mode, what this is the game loading online maps. This error can be an annoying fix. What is going on here is the game is stuck in enabling MP or online maps. Online maps is the game's function for properly loading online interiors into single player. This error is most commonly caused by an incompatible mod in your mods folder. I find that quite a few of the graphics mods and LA Revo cause this error. Like before, this error is a very similar issue to the one we just looked at. The error is that the game is crashing after trying to load MP maps, either by enable or interiors or a trainer. Again, the most common cause of this issue is an incompatible mod in your mods folder. The simplest fix is to remove your mods folder, see if the crash vanishes. If it does, remove your mods in your mods folder one by one until you find the culprit. As you can see by the images on this slide, this is an issue that comes with iFruit add-on 2. For the first part, if you're missing a contact from a mod like Enable or Interiors, it's like you are missing a required file like LemonUI. I'll go into that a little bit later. As for the blank contacts we can see in this, which is Trevor's phone, this is not actually an error itself. The blank contacts are created by iFruit add-on 2 to make sure that original contacts in the in-game cell phone do not get removed by added contacts from mods, which might cause issues with story mode. This is an error that's kind of a weird one that you probably haven't seen. What this is an infinite black loading screen upon entering an interior. This is most commonly caused by a mod crashing after calling fade screen out. Why this happens is due to Grand Theft Auto 5 having two separate functions for fading screen out and fading screen in. If a mod crashes in between calling these two statements, the error can occur. Another very strange issue. As you can see by the image, the map is very stretched out. This error was actually not submitted by a user on my Discord. Instead, it was actually me who got it. In the case of the error, it was something in my mods folder that had caused the issue. Simply removing my mods folder fixed the issue. As a result, if you're getting this error, it's advised that you remove your mods folder and remove mods one by one until you find the culprit that caused this. This error is all too common when entering an interior. You simply fall through the void under the map. This most commonly occurs with MP maps not being enabled correctly. In order to enable maps in order to enable MP maps correctly, you need to make sure that a mod is calling the load online maps function, like enable all interiors or a trainer. I found that trainer V or enhanced native trainer does this well. When your game starts, you need to hit insert. Your game should freeze. The duration of this freeze should depend on how many scripts you have installed. With the more scripts, the longer the freeze is. Once your game unfreezes, MP map should be enabled correctly. Following on from the last error, we can see that errors are not loading. You can see that interiors are not loading, but we can still walk around. In most cases, this is simply that the interior has not had everything it needs loaded in, as we can see with the bunker missing its floor. This can also be caused by an incompatible mod in mods folder, as we can see by the casino. However, as we can see by the mobile operations center, this image here, this can also be missing a prerequisite mod. In the case of the mock, the prerequisite mod would be command center interiors. As you can see by the screenshots, multiple heads and vehicles are scattered around the map, randomly placed where they shouldn't be. This is most commonly caused when the user has not enabled MP maps correctly. Like the previous error of falling through the void, this can happen to pets and vehicles as well. Instead of falling forever, their positions will eventually be reset to ground height. In 3 years of having a Discord server open, I've only seen this error pop up twice. As you can see by the images, Cayo Perico is not loading. However, the water around the island is, and the minimap shows the Cayo Perico island. This error occurs when the user has an incompatible mod, most likely in their mods folder. As we can see by the screenshots, both users definitely had a mods folder. The bottom images are overly bright, indicating that a graphics mod might be installed. The top image, we can see an add-on helicopter flying over Cayo Perico. The simplest method to resolve an issue like this is to simply remove your mods folder and try. If Cayo Perico loads, you then need to figure out which mod is causing Cayo Perico to not load. To do this, you can remove your mods in your mods folder one by one. This error primarily occurs when trying to load Cayo Perico via IPL and not its own island load function. However, in this case, this is actually a bug within the current version of Enable All Interiors, which will be fixed soon. If you didn't know already, Rockstar likes to put online interiors below the ground, but in some cases, like the arena, they had to put it above the sea. Like the next slide I cover, the arena is quite a glitchy interior. In this case, the arena will only fully render when inside of it, which gives us this weird shadow effect on the sea and gold rays coming down from the sky. As I said before, the arena is one of the most glitchiest interiors in the game. As you can see by these screenshots with the first one, Franklin is standing over nothing. This is due to the arena not allowing spawning of entities or teleporting directly onto the arena's main area. Instead, you'll need to teleport directly into the pits to stop this issue happening. You can then walk out onto the arena or drive out onto the arena and the arena will stay loaded. As you can see by the images, when MP Maps is turned off, there is a massive hole in the middle of the city. In this case, it wasn't a mods folder causing the issue, but something Rockstar had done during the contract update to cause this. If you're getting this error, the simplest fix is to install the Map Fixes mod by Alex106. Credit to Meme River for these images. Another one that I see a lot, with Franklin's couch being messed up in his house. The simplest fix for this issue is to copy these two files from x64h levels GTA5 interiors vint24 into mods update x64 DLC packs MP security DLC1 x64 levels GTA5 interiors into MP security yacht.rpf. I've seen this issue pop up a couple of times, specifically with enable all interiors. Again, this will be fixed next update. What this is the user has entered the arcade and then exited out, and they find the screen overlaid with a weird monochrome effect. The simplest way to fix this is to just use a trainer. I find Trainer V fixes this the best. In Trainer V, you want to go into Weather, Time Cycle Modify menu, and use numpad 4 and 6 to scroll through Time Cycle Modifiers 1 until you find Default, and then you hit numpad 5 to select, and the issue should be fixed when you reset the time cycle to default. The most common errors I get on my Discord server are mods not working. The most frequent one I see is missing lemon UI for ScriptHookVDotNet 2. As you can see by this console image from ScriptHookVDotNet, that is opened by the console key. Check your ScriptHookVDotNet INI for the key. We can see that the error says file not found. What this means is that the mod is trying to find a file that does not exist. In this case, the file is trying to find lemon UI for ScriptHookVDotNet 2. These examples show the error in clearer detail. We can clearly make out on the right-hand image the words file not found. As for the image on the left, this is a more common error you'll get when using my mods. With this one, it's a little confusing, but the principle is the same. We can see the error reads out file not found. In the case of this error, is the same one as before. The mod is referencing my mod helper, which is failing to find lemon UI for ScriptHookVDotNet 2. Another one that I get quite a lot is this one. The error reads unable to resolve API version 2.11.2. In the case of the screenshot, we can see it says version 2.11.2. This is the ScriptHookVDotNet version that the mod requires. You will get this error when your current ScriptHookVDotNet version does not match the required version of the mod. This not only can happen to version 2.11, but other versions such as 2.10 and 3.4, and so on. The simplest fix for this error is to reinstall ScriptHookVDotNet to the latest version. So you might recognize these warnings and errors if you've been using my mods at all. So the first one reads, a script tried to use custom script instance of type, and in the script name that was not instantiated by ScriptHookVDotNet. It's unknown why these errors pop up in my mods, but in 4 years of modding I've not found any reason to suspect that they cause anything major. The simplest fix for this issue is to simply ignore them. Again with the second one, the error reads, failed to instantiate script with the script name because no public constructor was found. Again, this is one you can simply ignore. In the case of my mods, the script with no public constructor found is not being called straight away, rather being called by another script only when it's needed. This error can be a bit of a nasty one. It basically means the game is trying to open ScriptHookVDotNet.log but does not have the right to open it, so it causes this error. I found it can be a complicated one to fix. In most cases, the easiest way to fix it is to change the write permission of Grand Theft Auto 5 folder by going into Properties and deselecting Read Only, and then hitting Apply. Another fix I found is to run the game as administrator. This error can be one of the simplest to fix as well. What the error means is that the mod causing the error is looking for a method or variable from a prerequisite mod that does not exist in the version that the user has. The easiest fix for this error is to make sure when a mod requires prerequisite to always use the latest version unless specified. This is also one of the most common errors I get that you also might see in a script mod. What this means is the script is trying to access a variable that has not been created. For example, trying to change the color of a vehicle's paint before creating it. However, this error can also be caused by conflicting mods in mods folder, or accidental mistakes in a mod's code. If we look at the screenshots provided, we can see a couple of errors. For the ones from my replace player vehicle, executive business, and biker business, these were unintentional mistakes in the mod's code from a previous update. However, with that being said, the ones from player companion and enable all interiors are errors created from conflicting mods. In the case of enable all interiors, this is most likely a graphics mod causing the issue. As for player companion, this error also exists in my Cayo Perico heist mod, as they share the same code. The error is caused when the script can't create one of the needed assets for the Cayo Perico heist. For fixing these errors, there isn't much you can do except for contacting the mod's author and asking about the error. Like the null reference exception errors, you can also get these errors, which are called out of range errors. Basically, this means the script is trying to access an object in a list or an array that does not exist. Imagine having a list of 7 objects, then trying to access the 8th object in the list. As you can tell, this would cause an error. It's pretty much the same as the null reference exception errors. These errors can be an unintentional mistake in the mod's code or conflict in your mods folder. For the added traffic one, this is a mistake in the mod's code. For the after hours business one, this was submitted by a user that had a mods folder, and when they removed their mods folder, the error before, where the mod could not find the prerequisite file, the same applies here. Instead of being another mod that the mod requires, i.e. enable all interiors requiring lemon UI, this error occurs when a mod cannot find a reference file within the code, like an INI or configuration file. From the screenshots we can see a couple of errors. Each one is referencing a file that the script cannot find. This error most commonly occurs when the file reference does not exist or the path of that file is wrong.